Cool. We are back. Definitely not a Saturday, so that's good. I'm going to walk you through the questions you have to ask. Absolutely have to ask if you are interviewing for a position. We do a lot of hiring at Join YA, the company that I co-founded and the startup that I currently am the CEO of. Cool title. But one of the things I send to every single candidate that we interview in the office, so like we still are bringing people into the office, or if they don't feel comfortable with that, we do it remotely, but we do like this very long, involved behavioral and chronological interview. Maybe I'll do a video on this in the future. Let me grab the book. It's right here. This book, Who, was like very instrumental in helping me think through how we approach our hiring process. That being said, I send every single candidate that we do this process or gets to this step in the process this article that I'm going to link down below and that you see on the screen from Reforge, the reverse interview, how to choose your next company. If you are looking to get a job, please, please, please reverse interview the people who are interviewing you. This article does an incredible job. Thank you, Elena, Crystal, and Zainab, I hope I pronounced that correctly, for writing this. This article is an incredible walkthrough on why and how you should reverse interview a prospective employer. You're at an information disadvantage. For most, the interview process, 90% of the time is spent on the company interviewing you. If you're lucky, you get the remaining 10% to ask them questions. You have to ask them questions, and I'm going to show you and tell you which questions I love when prospective employees ask me because they make me think and they show that they really care. So let's scroll down here. The reverse interview process, perception, what candidates see based on the job description and what the company tells them. It's kind of like the iceberg. Reality is everything that you didn't see during the interview process. You just want to avoid that. And the best way that you can do that as a prospective employee, and honestly, even from the employer perspective, you don't want to just sell each other on this fallacy that you're actually like meant. It's like dating. It really is like dating now that I've gotten a little bit older and have dated more than like two people. It's like dating, and you don't want to sell yourself because then it's really expensive, really painful, and the breakup kind of sucks for everyone. So go beyond perception, dive into reality, and some of these questions can really help you actually do that. Yeah, most common advice is useless. What is the company's culture? What does my career growth look like? What's your management style? Those are all like softball questions if you're asking a hiring manager, or in our case with a startup, like you're going to ask the CEO or the CTO or like one of the heads of a department. Those are softball questions. You're not actually going to get anything out of that. So you need a method to put more control in your hands. Again, highly encourage you to actually read this article. But here you go. Here's the reverse interview process. Self and personal advisory assessment, determining what you want, determine companies that are a fit, filter companies based on insider info, come more prepared than they do. I want to dive right to the part of this that I think is the best portion of this interview, which is the sample questions that you, the prospective staff member or employee, should ask. I'm going to zoom in on this. There are 5 kind of pillars of these questions that you should be thinking about asking. 1 on the company culture and values, the scope of the role, the organization and team structure, the history of the role and your potential progression at the company, and the company's perception of you. Let's talk through each of these questions. The first one is literally my favorite. And I remember a gentleman named Warren who is joining the team at YAA. Hi, Warren. Congrats again on your marriage. You're the man. He asked us, me and my co-founder, Arash, he asked us this question. When was the last time you used one of the company values to make a hard decision? We let go of 2 co-founders, and Arash and I opened up on this phone call with Warren, or on this interview with Warren. We did it remotely. He asked that question. We were honest with him. We told him that, and we tied it back to our company's values of fairness, transparency, playing the long game, things like that. And it was an awesome question. It's a question I encourage everyone to ask a prospective employer. What was the value situation, or what was the value, what was the situation, what was the decision? So dive deep there. Asking questions around the scope of the role. What are the 2 or 3 examples of decisions you expect this person to make? I butchered that. What are 2 to 3 examples of decisions you expect the person in this role to make autonomously? Great question. What is an example of decision you expect the person in this role to get input from you on? What is an example of decision that you would like to make, that you would make and expect this person to execute? I'm telling you, it's dating. It's like these are the questions you should ask going out on a date with a partner too, a prospective partner. Org and team structure. How is the team organized? Where does it sit within the broader company? Have there been significant changes in the team structure in the past year? If so, what were the goals of the change? How do you anticipate the team evolving over the next few months? Then on the role history and progression, who else in this role has progressed onto other roles? What were the roles that they progressed into? What capabilities did they show that made you confident that they were ready for the next level? People who have not done well in this role, what was it? So what held someone back in this particular position? At a startup company like ours, we don't have a lot in that role history and progression because we don't have the history of the role, and we're kind of charting our own course as we're sailing the ship as we're building it. So we don't really know what the progression necessarily would look like. But at a more established company, definitely questions worth asking. And then the company's perception of you. What is the biggest risk or unknown you would be taking by bringing me on? By taking me on. I never like to use the same word twice in a sentence, but by bringing me on. What a fantastic question. Again, the importance of the reverse interview. Imagine asking this to a hiring manager. What is the biggest risk or unknown you would be taking by bringing me on? And seeing the answer, right? Like also sensing if that answer is truthful or if it's just like saying stuff to say stuff. A lot of people don't really think before they talk. I'm probably guilty of that during this video clip in all honesty, but like you really get an opportunity to dive deep into the person who's going to be either your direct report or who you're going to directly report to or the hiring manager within the organization. To me, these questions right here are just like the bomb. Everyone should know about them. Anyone who's going through the hiring process should use them. They give you some examples here on follow-up questions as well, asking for more time if you run out of time. We schedule typically 45 minutes for the reverse interview. So we might bring someone in and ask them for maybe 90 to 120 minutes, so an hour and a half to 2 hours to do a chronological behavioral interview with them, and then we allocate 45 minutes for them to do the reverse interview with us. We probably should give them even more time now that I'm saying that out loud, but ask for more time as well. Most candidates don't do these things because they believe interview success is based solely on their skills. They optimize for the wrong things. They don't value the decision as highly as they should. Again, think of it like dating or honestly like marriage too. You're not going to marry the person that you don't want to be with for the rest of your life. Not saying a job is something you have to be with for the rest of your life because the company can fire you, you can fire the company, you guys can part ways, but it's painful. It's never fun when that happens for anyone involved. So value this decision, and hopefully by asking some of these questions, you'll be able to actually feel more informed about the decision that you're making as well. Okay, so this is a free resource. I can't wait to drink some water. This is a free resource. I'm going to link it in the description down below. If you're interviewing at YAA, we have open positions. Join yaa.com/careers. Please reverse interview us. If you're interviewing anywhere else, please reverse interview them. The best thing you can do is really kind of, I was about to say level the playing field. It's not a playing field, but like you can get involved, right? Like don't let them just dictate the pace and the cadence of the interview. Dictate back a little bit. Ask some of these questions, and I swear, I bet you're going to see some like that type of. They're going to do it. I promise you. I did it the first time. Thanks for watching.